of the Flaming Survival Cookie. Here it is in the snow. You get it nice and cold and wet. You can, this stuff doesn't rub off. It floats. It's always going to start on fire for you. Just knock it off here a little bit. Take your cookie, break it a little bit. Like that. Take your lighter. Light it. Flaming Survival Biscuit. The neat thing about these is you can pack them anywhere. They take up no space. They won't rub any oily residue off on anything in your pack. You can put it in your pocket. It can be in your boat. If you go overboard, they'll float. You can swim out and grab it. And if you can rub two sticks together or light a match, this thing's going to go. And you can see it's going to burn in just about any condition. So we'll film this here, and you guys keep track of how long it goes. Leave me a comment if you want some of these. We're going to package them, put a waterproof match in with it, and then if you run into trouble, great to have in your car. You can even have these in your purse. They don't smell. They don't rub off on anything. There's no toxic chemicals to worry about. It's just a forever fire starter. It will do the job. You can step on them, crunch them, break them. It's always going to work. And that's how we like to do things here. We like stuff that always works no matter what. I don't know about you guys, but if I had some nice wood above that, some kindling I found, I'm pretty sure I'd get the fire going. I'm pretty darn sure. Or maybe I was just cold, sitting on the banks doing a little fishing, wanted to warm up my hands. Get your hands warmed up so you can do whatever you're doing. I've been there, man. I've been there in the cold. Whether it's working in the oil field or, out on an elk hunt or something. You're going to get those hands cold. They don't want to work. Well, it doesn't take much to carry 10 or 15 of these things with you. Start a fire at night or just warm up your darn hands. Yeah, it's putting out quite a bit of BTUs. I think if you had some nice dry wood, a little kindling or, some old lichen or something, man, you'd be up and going right away. Save your life. When you break it, the more you feather it out, the faster it'll go. And it is cold outside, so it takes a little bit longer to get it warmed up to go. But once it gets going, well, you can see there's no stopping it. Well, obviously you could stop it, pour a bunch of water on it, but if you're trying to survive, you don't want to be an idiot. Also, if you've got a cabin or or someplace you like to go to, and start a fire. You don't have to stick your lighter in there for half an hour. You can just light this up, stick it right on your dry wood. You know, let it just start cooking that dry wood. You can walk away, come back, your fire's going. You can have these just sitting on the shelf. They'll last 100 years. I mean, they'll never go bad. You can hear it hit the water too. It sizzles, but it keeps going. Look at it go. I know there's lots of fire starters out there a guy can get, but these are cheap. They float. They're waterproof. They don't rub anything off on you. They don't fall apart and leave garbage in the bottom of your backpack. You can put them in a tin in your cabin and have 5 years supply that takes up as much as, you know, a can of beans. So it just makes sense. This is one of the best concepts I've ever seen. And I've had quite a few fire starters in my time, but this one's definitely the best. I mean, it doesn't care that it's sitting in snow. It just burns. I don't know how many minutes we're into it. I'm looking at 7 here. So it probably took me a couple minutes to get it going. We're at 5 or 6 minutes on this thing in the snow. Anybody's ever been in a situation, you bush pilots out in Alaska, or you elk hunters down here in the 48, anybody's ever been in a survival situation. Maybe you turned your canoe over once and had to sleep out a night with no, you know, dry gear, maybe no sleeping bag. Man, that's happened to me. I sure wish I'd have had one of these on me, because I played hell just getting a fire going, and I was a long way away from anybody. This would have really been nice. I wouldn't say save my bacon, because I'm still here alive, but you know, it might save your bacon. You know, 5 or 6 minutes in a survival situation is a lifetime. So, you know, it doesn't have to all be doom and gloom. You can use this, like I said, to start a fire in your cabin. Or, you know, when you go out to go roast do a barbecue, or just go see friends, you know, this'll work. This'll start a campfire at night without having to try too darn hard. And they're cheap. Easy. Look at it laying right in the snow. It's the honey badger of fire starters. Flaming Cookie doesn't care. Flaming Cookie just burns. You know, the only thing we're missing here is John Travolta to Burn Baby Burn. And in the background, burn baby burn, Disco Inferno. I'm pretty positive I could start a fire with that, don't you think? He nodded his head yes. He believes we can start a fire too.
I'm getting warm just watching it.
Man, I could start a fire just with that. Let's see how.
It's cold enough in here to see your breath, and I can feel the heat off of it. I'm standing by it.
I just melted down through the snow and kept going. Well, leave your comments. We'll leave a number for you. Give us a call if you want some of these. We'll fire them out to you. And, you know, let you try them out, whatever. These are lifesavers. Really, truly lifesavers. All you got to have is an ignition source, and boom, you're good to go. Like I said, the more you feather out the material on the inside of it, the easier it is to start. We're into this 7 minutes? At least?
We're in 10 minutes.
That's really hitting that water now.
Well, it's actually sitting in water.
Still lit.
Definitely burns long enough to get some ignition source going.
I could start a fire with that.
So 10 minutes, it'll burn for 10 minutes.
Well, hold on.
Obviously, sitting in the snow is not the most ideal situation. If you had some ground cleared away or set it on a rock where it's not affected by water, it'd burn a lot better than in the middle of the snow. The point is, even in a cold source like snow, it still burns. So
Saving your life.
So even if you were just to stick it in a can, it'd be like a sterno can. You could burn it in the side of the car to stay warm. It wouldn't catch anything on fire, doesn't smell. Easy to put out, blow it out.
I'm no genius, but I believe I could even start a fire with that if I had to. Sorry about the video being so long, but we had to show you how long these things will burn. Hopefully you stayed with us to the end here to see it.
Well, there she goes. She's still burning.
Still burning.
12 minutes into this and it's still burning. So with any kind of little prep, with your wood supply handy, and you'd have a roaring fire going in no time.
Even if you had your old shirt, a pair of underwear or something. There we go. Rip off your shirt. Don't recommend it. Maybe you got some left over, or you got a fire.